Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Legacy Builder series. I am your host, Ace Randall. Thank you guys for tuning in, those of you all that are watching via Facebook as well as on YouTube. As you come in and you're watching the broadcast, feel free to share with your followers and share with those on your YouTube pages. Thank you guys as well for posting your comments. I have a phenomenal guest that's going to be on with us tonight. But before I introduce him, I kind of want to come on with an inspirational thought. A good friend of mine did a live today, did a live last night, and he was talking about the importance of making your preparation towards your future or towards your goals or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in life, and the importance of that, and how you have to do your research, how you have to plan. Maybe you might have to go back to school. Maybe you have to get involved into some seminars or get a mentor or someone to coach you in the field and the line that you're trying to be in. These are important to legacy creating. You can do so much by faking your way in, if you will, or faking it till you make it. But sometimes it comes to a point in time in your life that you have to evolve, and you have to look into books. You have to look into people that have already accomplished what it is that you're trying to do. And so sometimes you come to a crossroads that you have to make a decision. Do I keep going in this direction, trying to make it the way that I'm doing it, or do I advance myself and gain more wisdom, gain more knowledge in the area that I'm going in? And then that gives me more power in the industry, that gives me more knowledge, it gives me more ability to be able to network because you've advanced yourself in knowledge. Knowledge is power. And so don't be afraid to pick up a book. Don't be afraid to watch YouTube videos, or just gain a wealth of knowledge that's going to help you advance. I'm telling you, right now we're in 2020. There's no excuses for not being able to gain knowledge. You have people that's on YouTube that create tutorials on how to do things from start to finish. It's almost like you can get a degree on YouTube. I think that's something I might need to create, a YouTube college, and get a degree through watching YouTube videos. It is really that accessibility. So right now we don't have any excuse to advance. So I want to encourage you, by any means necessary, whatever it is in the field of study that you're trying to do, or the field that you're trying to build legacy in, study the market, study the industry, read books, get involved more in that field so that you can learn, learn how to grow and evolve, and you don't get stuck in the limits of just your perspective or your thought process. So I just want to encourage you with that. Those that you are building legacy, continue to build. You're going to do some great things in the world, but don't do it just based on your knowledge. Learn some new things, and it's going to help you to advance. So that was my thought for the day. I hope that inspires you to continue to go forward. I have a phenomenal guest coming on with us tonight. He is a celebrity wardrobe stylist, and let me go ahead and introduce him. Stay tuned.
Legacy Builder, Ryan Christopher, an iconic celebrity wardrobe stylist who has dressed celebrity clients such as Tami Roman, LisaRaye McCoy, Amara La Negra, Day 26, Robin Givens, T.S. Madison, Elise Neal, Ronnie and Shamari DeVoe, Erica Dixon, Adrian Marcel, Dr. Heavenly, Sammi, Shay Johnson, Masika and many more. Stay tuned as we experience the journey of how Ryan Christopher built his legacy.
Good evening, my friend. Thank you for coming on to the Legacy Builders series. It is indeed an honor to have you on with us tonight.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for that amazing intro. It was a good intro. I liked it. Yeah, very nice.
Thank you. Of course, look, you're look. I gotta bow down to the legend himself in fashion.
Please.
So of course I had to do you right.
No
I
legend.
had to do you right.
No legend here. No legend here.
Well, you're doing your thing, and I commend you on the success of what you're doing. And that's, with that being said, that's why I reached out to you. I know we're friends on Instagram, and I wanted to reach out to you because I see the things that you're doing, and I want to applaud you and to continue to grow strong in what you're doing. So keep up the great work. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. And thank you. Just excuse how I look today. It's been a very, very long day. So just excuse how I look,
Well,
I'm not that glamorous during the week at all.
Look, that's no different than a hairstylist. Hairstylists half the time don't look that great during the week while they standing over somebody's head. But when they ready to pull it together, they know how to pull it together.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So before we get started into a few questions, I know that you just came from a shoot. So with someone that you had to style today. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, the shoot that I did today was with a friend. He is a model. And we wanted to kind of get together and collaborate and do something, which is always good. We get to, in this industry, sometimes you do get to work with friends, and he's also in the industry and a model. And, a lot of people, even in the introduction, I'm so glad that you actually said some of the male clients, because a lot of people always think that I only do women. So it was a pretty fun shoot. Expect to see some pictures on IG really, really soon. I really wanted to make it very fashion forward, but still be masculine at the same time, because that's what he gives me as a person, and that's kind of what I am as a stylist. I like to keep people in and who they are, personality-wise. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, just kind of get us started into learning more about you, so that people will know who Ryan Christopher is. Kind of take us back a little bit, where you're from, a little bit of your upbringing, and how your creative mind as an artist or as a stylist began before you even got into the industry. Let's kind of start there.
Well, I'm going to answer that last question first, and then we're going to piggyback. I never really knew I had a creative mind. Let me just say that. Or creative eye. Let me say that. But I am originally from Birmingham, Alabama, born and raised. I went to a school by the name of Miles College. I majored in business. I have a BS in business administration. And while I was at Miles, Miles was really like my third time starting college over. I really wasn't. I tired of school. After you graduate high school, I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do no more school. But Miles was my third try, and I finally got it right. And probably like my junior year, that's when I started really beginning to get involved on campus. I actually started putting together fashion shows. And that's when I began to realize that, hey, I may have a talent with like putting clothes together, because I would do all that stuff when I would put the fashion shows together. But now, even though I knew that I had that kind of an eye to put together outfits, at that point in time, I didn't know people got paid to put people's clothes together. So I had never heard of it. So upon graduating, I worked into the 9-to-5 world, got fired. And from there, I began to intern under a stylist by the name of Sean Melson, who was located in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was her assistant and intern for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. And from there, I began to kind of start to branch out on my own. Actually, my very first client was LisaRaye McCoy. I actually met her in Birmingham, Alabama. And that was about 7 years ago. If I remember correctly, it was about 7 years ago. and somebody I still have a relationship with this to this very day. Yeah.
Nice, nice. That's amazing. Interestingly enough, LisaRaye McCoy is actually from my home city.
She is. Yes, I've been there with her.
Indeed, and she's from the South Side. I'm from the West Side. So, but it's funny that her look is very authentic Chicago from her beginning years, and so when you see her, you like, oh, I know she's from Chicago. Amazing. So you got that was kind of like your start, and so
Yes.
is that kind of like how you were out the gate, coming straight into working with a celebrity stylist, or did it actually progress? Were you working with just only the fashion shows and then built up to working with her?
No, I was only doing fashion shows on at school when I was in college. I literally left college, got a job, got fired, and literally started working under her. So it was kind of straight working with working with her and her clients at that time. And I think I used to have a relation. Well, I still do, but I was brought up around a group of promoters, two promoters, in fact, Paul Davis and Tanya Merritt, and they kind of introduced me to being around celebrities in a sense. So when I began to work with them, I wasn't even as an intern or an assistant, seeing celebrities, people that I had, watched, because when I was interning, I had worked with like SWV and Marvin Sapp and Fantasia.
Wow.
I think we did something with Young Jeezy one time. I mean, we had worked with some pretty heavy hitters, like I would be like, whoa, like, I'm around this person. But I think because I was brought up around these promoters and they kind of groomed me in a way that they may not even have known, but they kind of groomed me in a way just to kind of be acclimated and be cool when you're around, celebrities or entertainers, because at the end of the day, they're people just like you and I. So,
indeed.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I know that people, especially when they are new to an industry, they get caught up in being starstruck, if you will. And, and like you said, do not realize that these are regular people. Even an example, the celebrity guest that I had on, me and him actually shared an Uber together. That's how I met him. And I just knew he was an actor, and I asked him the question, are you an actor? And that just kind of built our conversation. And he actually is the acting coach for Janelle Monáe. And so, he's here in Georgia as well. So, so he's doing some great things as well. So, but just having that relatability and not get so caught up in what they do and relating to them as individuals, that's great. So, how long did
I may need his info. I can't. We'll get into that later, but I may need his information.
Okay, definitely. Me and him share the same birthday, so I told him, I said, we're adopted brothers now. But definitely. So how long did your internship last, when you were kind of building this momentum into this industry?
It was about 2 to 3 years. I think I interned for about a year. And then I became her assistant. So about maybe a year and a half I interned. So it lasted about 2 years, 2.5 years, maybe 3. Yeah, somewhere around in there.
Nice. So after your internship, did you venture out into building your own brand, or did you move on to something else?
Absolutely. I was doing it. I kind of did it while I was being her assistant. And then I just kind of started branching out on my own. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Nice. I did. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Understandable. Sometimes you have to get connected to the industry that you want to be in and kind of like learn the market and kind of build your own brand while you're working. It's kind of like you're learning the inner workings of how that works. So
absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Is going to be a real talk question to you.
Oh, Lord.
Did
Okay.
you ever come in conflict as you were building your brands with the woman that you actually was interning with? Because, you in essence went from being her mentee to being her, not competition, but another person in the same industry that you have to, that did you not necessarily competing against, but you're in the same field. So did you have any difficulties with that?
No, I mean, being that we were in the same field, yes, but we weren't on the same level.
Gotcha.
I didn't consider so, but I do think there was a little, as I began to continue to work with her, I do believe that there was some maybe, oh, he getting, because a lot of her clients liked me, and I thought at the end of the day, that's what you would want as an assistant. You would want your clients to like that person, but you may not want them, they may start liking you too much and then keep inquiring about you, and they can lose their spot. And I think
Indeed.
that I get it, and I was younger then, I get it now. It's just a business, and I think that's because I would have interned and worked with under her longer, but there was
Indeed.
no big issue, no big blow up or anything like that. I always give her praises. She gave me an opportunity, and I will never take that from her. I've even since I moved to Atlanta, I've even heard people say, she may refer me to something. So, she definitely gave me a start. So it wasn't like any animosity or any beef like that. I just think that she saw growth, and sometimes when you see growth, you have to let someone go, fly
Indeed.
away. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why I asked that question, because a lot of people that mentor people, when they grow to a level that they can be able to fly on their own, sometimes that is a challenge of letting them to be able to spread their wings. They get jealous or they get envious, and they don't want to see them succeed. And that, of course, you're going to have those moments when you kind of have those jealousy entities, but that's good that you still give honor to her for your start. So that's great.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's great.
I will always give credit where credit is due.
Indeed. And then, with this industry, any industry, actually, people are going to come to you because of your creative mind, and then they like what you like, but then they like what someone else does, and they'll bounce back and forth, and they'll go to you and go to her, go to someone else. It's just what it is. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
So when you decided to branch out and build your brand, your own brand, were you basing that off of the celebrity clients that you already were getting through the previous internship, or were you just kind of like working your way up through the ranks, meaning like doing personal styling for individuals, photo shoots, or things of that sort? How did that build momentum?
I didn't use any of Sean's clients. Actually, what I would do was, coming from a small town, living in Birmingham, Alabama, there wasn't many people doing what I was doing, especially on the level that I was doing it, even as an intern. So what I would do was, when people would come into town, entertainers would come into town, I would actually research them and hit them up and offer my services. And like the very first person was Jennifer Williams, but the very first person that I actually built a relationship with and like literally started working with her after that was LisaRaye McCoy. Same way I met Robin Givens the same way, and that's kind of how it started. And then I got kind of acclimated into that love and hip hop. When Love and Hip Hop started, I think the first season I was just like anybody else, watched the show, thought it was ratchet, but I loved it, just like everybody else did. And then, the second season, right before the second season, the opportunity came up to do Erica Dixon for an event, and I did it, and I had been working with her from ever since then. So
wow.
And then at that point, of course, your name just kind of started going around. That's how I met Heavenly, and it just kind of started, going from there. I had done some work with Ebony Steele, who is also from Birmingham, who was previously on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. And so, it just, and then that's when the name just kind of started going and going and going. And that's kind of how I just started, going out there. And of course, working with Erica, and that helped build your social media and, all, because I think with the time that I was working with LisaRaye, Instagram wasn't really a thing. Like when I first met LisaRaye, Instagram wasn't that big, like not like it is now. So of course, being connected to that whole love and hip hop just kind of blew, every time they at you, it just kind of blows your Instagram up more and more and more. And people thought that, that was my star, but it really wasn't, because they didn't know who I was. Nobody, and they still, a lot of people may not know who I am. And I like it like that. I like to be, I'm definitely a guy that likes to be in the background. But I like to be in the spotlight too, but I like to be in the background. I understand that my job is the glorified help. And I know my position, and I know my job, and I accept it. I think a lot of people in this industry don't understand that they are the glorified help, and they want to be the star. I know that my time will come, but in this moment, I'm not the star. I'm here to help create a star.
Indeed. Indeed, and that's good, and that keeps you grounded, that keeps you humble. With that being said, and I know working with celebrities in your personal time,
Mhm.
have you ever had like a snap of reality thinking like, oh my God, how did I get here? How did I get to this place that I'm actually working with people that have this notoriety and it's helping me to build my brands and they pull on me? But did you ever have that moment like, wow, how did I get to this place?
I still sometimes have those moments when you get a text from someone or someone calls you and you're like, oh, it kind
Indeed.
of is a little surreal, but I that's about as far as that goes. But I do get those moments where it's like, oh, so and so texting me, oh, okay, so and so called me, and then you kind of be like, I would have never thought in a million years, but
Right.
that's about as far as that goes. I try to. I have, everything to me is so normal. I remember some of my friends in Birmingham have to let me know that these things are normal. Like, some people that people would love to meet in a lifetime that they won't get to. So I was like, a lot of things are normal, but I just look at it as normal life. I really do. I don't look at it as anything else.
Right.
I really don't. I really don't. I
Well,
mean, I just,
you've been in the game enough, so of course you probably don't look at it now. But of course, I'm sure in the beginning. But then too, like you said, you get a text message from someone like, really, like
yeah, you'd be like, oh, okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's great that that people pass your name around because of your work ethic and what it is that you do, and you remain humble in that, and that is commendable. That I think that's what's going to keep you in the door. I said this on one of the previous shows. Your gift and your talent to bring you to the door, but what keeps you in is your integrity and your work ethic and how you treat people. It speaks volumes for you. So that is amazing. So
Although these days it doesn't
yes,
seem as so. Nene Leak said it best. The game just really is not fair. So these
right,
days it seems like the people who don't have integrity are thirsty and
right.
don't really have a love for what they do. They just trying to be seen. They are the people that's breaking down these doors and getting in the door first. But it all I truly believe it all comes in God's time. God timing.
Indeed.
It really does.
Indeed, and usually those type of individuals are momentary because
Exactly.
they'll pull on what they have, but they don't have that sustainability. They're here today, gone today. Here today or gone tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. So, you started building connections with the love and hip hop industry. So, do you work with a lot of the people from these shows or what have you, the what do you call it, the reality stars in that regard? Do you work with a lot of them?
Yes, and because I was around Erica for a long time, I became very cool with some of the love and hip hop people. So I'm also friends with a couple of them from the show, and I hang out with a couple of them and things like that. So yeah, I mean.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I've worked with people from Love and Hip Hop of Miami. I've worked with people from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, of course, and I've worked with people
Right.
from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I think the only franchise that I haven't worked with somebody on a franchise is New York.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Now, when you working with them, are you actually working with them on the actual show itself, or is it just for like promotional things outside of the show?
Erica, yes. Erica, I did work with her on the actual show. Like I was the one putting together her wardrobe for her, and most of the scene work, which some of that stuff is just not like it's not like like out there type of stuff. But like doing the
Indeed.
green screens, yes. Dr. Helen Heavenly, her as well. I've done, put outfits together for her for scene work as well as green screen. So yes, those two, yes. Others, it's been mostly I've done some scene work. I've put together outfits for our scene for Shay Johnson on Miami. I also have done a look on Amara in a scene, who was also
Mm.
on Miami. The work I did with Masika was not on. She wasn't on Love and Hip Hop anymore when I worked with her. But yeah, so some people yes, some people no.
Nice, nice. And now, we know, as you said, the show can be a bit ratchet
Yeah, of course.
at times.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that, because of some of the things that go on with shows like this, do you think that will ever have any effect on your brand, or you just look at this as an opportunity to build your brand?
No, I don't think it have effect on my brand at all. What my brand is not ratchet. I think that I actually give people a more classic look. Even if it's trendy, it's still a more classier look. I feel like I upgrade people's look. So, I'm not attached to that part of it. So no, that doesn't really affect my brand. I'm not in front of the camera in that regard, doing all that stuff, but I get it. I think that people do have to understand that it's television. I'm not saying that it's fake, but it is television at the end of the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I actually have a question to that in just a moment, but we're going to take a break for a moment, pay the bills for the show. So we're going to have a quick advertisement, and we're going to come right back on. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing Legacy Brand Consultants. Identifying the brand within. We offer vision planning assistance, strategies for increasing revenue, offer staff vision training, along with senior leader seminars. We conduct business development conferences, church expansion strategies, also business expansion strategies. We offer plans on increasing foot traffic with a rapid rate for success. Phase 1, vision creation. Phase 2, strategic outline. Phase 3, branding strategy. Phase 4, growth strategy. Phase 5, expansion planning. And Phase 6, the exit strategy. Schedule your consultation by calling 773-599-9388. Office hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let us help you identify the brand within.
Thank you guys for staying tuned to that brief advertisement. I have a phenomenal guest. If you came in late, no worries. You can go back and watch the replay, and it is available here on YouTube and on Facebook as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest back on with me. Celebrity fashion stylist, Ryan. Thank you again for being with us on the second half of this segment.
No problem. No problem.
Indeed. So the last we were talking about, we was kind of talking about how I asked a question about being a part of Love and Hip Hop, and I wanted to know if you felt because of the ratchetness, do you think that would affect and build your brand? And you mentioned about how you feel like you bring a classy look to them. So I want to kind of quote on that a little bit about your creative genius, how you look at dressing a person. What do you take into account? Like, let's use me for an example. Say I have a red carpet event that I'm going to Oscars, for an example, and how would you take your approach on that, on how you would dress a client?
I would literally study you. I've studied all my clients. You have to think about that when I met LisaRaye and Robin Givens, I didn't know who they were, and they offered to let me dress them. Yes, but I had never met them, so I really researched them, and I just researched them to see what their style was and how could I enhance that. What could I, how could I bring that in? How could I bring a little bit of Ryan in that? That's what the Ryan eyes come from. So yeah, I'm very big on knowing my person's or my client's personality. I think another gift that I have is I get a sense of that through looking at your pictures, and I want it to be more of you than it is me, because I want you to be able to carry off the look. I'm here to enhance who you are. So that's kind of how I work in my creative vision.
Nice.
Unless we're doing something where you want to say, hey, I want to do this, and you like we're doing a photo shoot and you want to do something, you give me a particular look and say, hey, I want to look like this, or I need to look, like this, and then that's something different. But for red carpets and things like that, you definitely want the person to be comfortable, and you want them to feel good, because a lot of times stylists can force people in clothes and they don't really carry them off well. You know, you want your
Indeed.
client to feel fabulous. You want them to feel good about themselves. And I think that's the most important thing for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I know pre-show we were kind of talking about some things that's on the horizon for you. So what are some things that you have down the pipeline that we could be looking forward to that's going to be coming from, you know, your brand or from your industry?
Well, it's so excited about a project I just wrapped. Just wrapped the first 2 episodes. Excuse me. Last week, I am on a web series, and it's gonna be kind of like a, well, not like this show, but when LisaRaye, when she did Insecure before she got picked up on HBO, she made 15-minute episodes of Insecure on YouTube, and so I'm
Nice.
on a web series that's taking that same type of example, trying to do a show, and it's 15-minute episodes. It's called The Next Assignment. And I'm actually on it. And like I said, we wrapped episode 1 and 2 last weekend. Also, it is acting. It is not a scripted. It is a scripted show. It's not a non-scripted show. It is actual a show. It's a pretty, it's a pretty action-packed kind of well, I don't say thriller, but definitely crime. I will say that.
Nice.
A lot of crime. I actually play myself. I play Ryan Christopher. I am the best friend to the main character. And but I will say Ryan Christopher in The Next Assignment is not the Ryan Christopher in real life. Like, not at all. Like, the personalities are very different. But it was very fun experience. I filmed all of my scenes in one day, actually last Sunday. And it was a really, really great experience. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Once they put it all together, I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's why I was telling you I may need that acting coach, because they told me I was a natural, but I don't know. I am not an actor, so I don't know if I'm a natural or not. But I know I can naturally act a fool, but I don't know if I'm a natural.
That
actor.
helps.
So, but yeah. So I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to see what comes of that. And this could be a new door for me.
You still really with us, Ryan? I think we got frozen a little bit there.
Am I back? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
All right, I do apologize. If you're there, Ryan,
I'm here.
Come out and come right back in because it got frozen.
Okay, so how do I leave and come right back? Okay, hold on 1 second.
Right, you guys, I do apologize for that. Actually, you know what? Just for you all who live in Georgia, we are got a little thundering going on out here, just trying to interrupt the flow of the show. But we are still back, so I do apologize. But I think I was looking at it on another device, and I do see that it was still playing you, but on my end it did freeze. But I know you mentioned that you want to kind of get into that you did this acting, and so you want to get connected to an acting coach. So is that something that's on the horizon that you actually want to pursue as a career?
I had fun with it. It was truly an experience. I mean, I can honestly say it's something, being on that set all day, it was something I had never really experienced before. Well, I've experienced being on set, but not in that element. And so I really had fun with it. I remembered all my lines, surprisingly, because that was my biggest fear. I was like, how am I gonna remember all this shit? But I remembered it, and I really had fun with it. And so it's definitely something that I would love to kind of, go into more. And they were like, you're a natural. And even the writer, she said, I think you should really get into acting coach. So we'll see, we'll see. I think, new horizons, new beginnings,
Indeed.
Styling will always be my baby. I will never stop doing that. But just to kind of, one thing, if we ain't learned nothing else in this pandemic, we should definitely learn that we need multiple streams of income. So
Absolutely.
y'all might
1,000% agree.
y'all might see me outside on the sidewalk selling purses. Just know that that's my another stream of income.
Absolutely. I 1,000% agree with you in that regard, because you know you got to always have something to even fall back on, or just not necessarily even to fall back on, but just to bring the additional income. Absolutely. So yeah, I'll definitely get you connected with him. He's a great guy. Awesome actor and great coach. So definitely we get you connected to him. So man, that's amazing. Now I know we were talking about some other brands that you want to consider getting into. I asked you pre-show, if you were interested in creating a line or something. And so, just tell us a little bit if you're interested in kind of pursuing a career in either fashion or accessories or anything of that sort.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to. A lot of people know me for wearing sunglasses a lot. A lot of people know me for wearing a lot of sneakers. I'm a sneakerhead. I'm a shoe whore. So even in my work, I always try to aim for a more statement-making shoe. I wear a lot of statement-making shoes myself personally. So I think that's something that I would love to look into in the future. I'm all about timing. So when that time is right, I'm sure God will let me know. And I think that is something I would definitely love to, even if it's endorsing a product, but I would definitely love to have a brand of sunglasses, maybe a brand of shoes. I think that would be, something that really fits with my personality and really fits with who I am.
Absolutely. And even in the endorsement process, I think that even if you started there, that gives you almost kind of like the same scenario that you did coming in as an intern. Right. It gives you a look on the inside to see how manufacturing is and things of that sort. I give an example of Patrick Starr. He is getting a lot of notoriety because of his One Size brand. But he started with doing a collaboration with Mac products. And so now he's building his own brand because he learned a lot from the industry with Mac. So I think that same thing will work well for you if you got connected with a glasses line or a shoe brand, and then it just teaches you the inner workings of how that industry works.
Right. Absolutely.
Hey, go for it. I mean, it's what do you have to lose? But time, maybe a little bit of money, but but you learn as you go. That is really amazing. Now, I know we're probably going to be cutting the show short tonight because I know you have a lot going on. So I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you have billable hours and I want you to send me your invoice. But what I ask all my guests that come on the show is, what type of legacy do you want to leave behind when it's your time to take your eternal rest, or it's time for you to go on to glory, or whatever your beliefs is, and it's time for you to leave the earth? What is it that you want to be remembered by?
I want people to remember me by the person who uplifted people's souls, who uplifted people, even though it's through wardrobe. He uplifted people's spirits, and I want to be known as someone who really, truly, knew their gift, understood their gift, and was able to share his gift with others, and to uplift others. And so that's what I really want to be. That's what I want my legacy to be. That I wasn't afraid to give my gift and give it so that, it's worked for me, and it's a way that I make an income, but it's also a way for me to uplift others, women and men. Sometimes you don't understand how a makeover or elevating somebody's look can really uplift their spirit. And I don't think people realize that. And that's not just with entertainers, because I don't only work with entertainers. I do work with the everyday man and woman as well. So I want to know that I want my legacy to be that I touch people's souls through my gift.
Absolutely. And that is so true that, people that have self-esteem issues and, they can put on an outfit and they'll feel beautiful and it'll just shape their whole world. And sometimes, putting them in a garment that they didn't think that they could wear, just makes them, it just gives them a whole new lease on life and didn't realize that they can actually do what they're doing. So that is amazing. So as far as some future things down the line that you are working on besides the brands or what have you and the acting, is there some other things that we could be looking out for that you're legally able to share? Because I know sometimes the things are contractual and you can't share, but what are some things that we can look out for you for? Are you going to be on some new projects or anything of that sort that we can be looking out for you?
I'm going to be on whatever God has for me. And that's how I'm going to answer that question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do have one more last question before we go. Do you do mentorship or help people that's trying to get in the same field that you're in?
Yes, I do. You know, we live in a time now that these people don't really want to do the grunt work like I had to do, but I do have interns. I do accept interns. That I think for me, that is my way of mentoring. You know, in this business, you can't teach anyone how to style, but you can teach someone. They can learn your process and hopefully make a process for their own, if that makes sense. Because that's exactly what I did. So yeah, I do offer internships. When I have a lot of stuff going on, I absolutely do. Yes.
Great. And what type of advice would you give someone that's trying to get into this industry?
To know that to never let, how can I say this? You know, and I did tap on this earlier. A lot of people think that, you know, they get into this industry because they want to be seen. If that, never be into this to want to be seen. What you want to be seen is your work.
Indeed.
You have to have the right mindset in this industry. And you're trying to get in this industry to be seen, it's not going to work. My biggest thing is for people just to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and never give up. Even with me, you know, I can get a million no's, but it's only going to take that one yes that's going to get me to that next level. I don't know when that yes is going to come. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow. It could be 2023. Or it could be 2000. It could be in December. I don't know. I just know I keep striving to get that yes. So I encourage everybody to keep striving to get that yes as well.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you again for no problem. Thank you again for your Indeed. Thank you so much for that words of wisdom. I encourage you to go after your dreams. Bless you. Continue to go after your dreams, go after your goals and aspirations. I believe, just like what you just said, you're going to get that right yes, and you're going to get that person that's going to partner alongside of you as well. I believe in your vision that's going to help put you to the next level. So continue to strive, continue to build legacy, because we need more of us, you know, our generation to, or even our color, to continue to go after this. And interestingly enough, and this was not planned, but this show has ended up being a lot of minorities on, and I'm glad that I have brought on a lot of minorities, because it shows that we can accomplish something, that we can do something of value, we can do something great, and have some longevity, and have some class about ourselves, and have some, you know, dignity in what we're doing, and continue to build this great work ethic. And I applaud you to continue to do that. And continue to inspire. I'm seeing a lot of great comments and things that's coming up from people that are sharing it on Facebook and other mediums as well. And they are really inspired and touched by your story.
I can't see the comments, but thank you all. Thank you.
No problem. So as you guys see, I'm going to put it back again on the screen. I do apologize. It was not fully, totally in rotation. But if you are interested in getting in contact with Mr. Christopher, his information is scrolling right there on the bottom. You can gain information directly on his website, but you can see more of his information directly on his Instagram page. I tell you, you're going to see a lot of amazing work. If you want to hire him to be your fashion stylist, I tell you, he's going to have you dressed for the nines. I tell you, you are going to be looking amazing. And I've seen some people on there that I was like, I never thought that they could look like that. They look wow. I mean, I won't say who, but I was like,
oh, please
wow.
tell us who. You got to tell us who.
Oh, no. You trying to get my show shut down. I can't do that. I might want to have her on the show.
I understand.
Or him on the show. you know, but it was, but I tell you, you do phenomenal work. And one day I will be at that level to have you two, you know, dress me and get me prepared for the legacies that I'm building in the industry. So I'm glad to have met you. I'm glad to have
Thank you so
had
much.
this moment. And I guarantee you, the world is going to know more of your name. And I can say that you came on the Legacy Builder series. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much. I receive all of that. Thank you so much.
Indeed. So thank you guys for coming on and tuning in to the Legacy Builder series. I had a wonderful time with my, and I call him a celebrity guest because he is a celebrity fashion stylist, and not only just a celebrity fashion stylist, but he has done, it does work for everyone. And so don't think just because he has worked with celebrities that he cannot do work for you. And I hope his story inspired you to continue to build legacy, because he's in fact doing that. He's doing great, amazing things. Again, if you missed it, go back and watch the replay. I tell you, he says some things that even inspired me in this episode. So thank you guys for coming on. Be on the lookout. We have a great, phenomenal guest is coming on next week. I do apologize, forgot to put the flyer up, but I have former mayor of Vineland, New Jersey, Ruben Bermudez, as well as his wife, Lady Bermudez as well. Dr. Bermudez is going to be on with us on next week, Monday. And it's going to be an amazing show. They are doing some great things in the world, and so you don't want to miss that. But again, you see this rotating. Follow his information, blow up his pages, like all of his photos. I tell you, he is an amazing stylist, and he has done some great things. So I thank him for coming on. So if you missed it, again, go back, watch the replay, or go watch it on YouTube. It's going to always be available to you. And thank you guys again for coming on and watching the Legacy Builder series, and continue to always build legacy. Good night.
Thank you for viewing the Legacy Builders series. Tune in July through August, Mondays and/or Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with special guest panelists to appear. Want to be a guest or a sponsor? Send your request via email to legacybuilderstv@gmail.com. Till next time, go forth and build legacy.